Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the performance of the physical Dabura unit or Dabura Angel unit in DBZ Dokkan Battle after his recent Extreme Z Awakening. So this is the meaning of life found in heaven. Physical Dabura, he is 77% Otherworld Warriors lead and a physical type lead of 50%. He raises his attack for one turn on his super attack and greatly raises attack and defense for one turn and causes supreme damage to the enemy, whilst greatly lowering attack on his unit super attack, which activates when there's a Paiku Han on the team. He has attack and defense of 104% plus an additional attack and defense of 10% and chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading the enemy's attack including super attack plus 4% per superclass category ally on the team. So that's 60% attack and defense, 24% crit chance, and 24% evasion. He also gets an additional chance of performing a critical hit of 10%, and a chance of evading enemies' attacks of plus 4% per Otherworld Warriors category ally attacking in the same turn. So what that means basically is he can then go up to around 36% evasion and roughly a 60% crit chance, give or take. Then he gives superclass ally a key plus 4, attack and defense of 40%, hits an additional attack and defense of 104% when the target enemy is in attack down or defense down status. He recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn, and if there's another Otherworld Warriors category ally attacking the same turn, he will recover an additional 4% HP at the end of the turn. He also recovers HP with candy. He has the Innocence, More Than Meets the Eye, Gentleman, Solid Support, Master of Magic, Otherworld Warriors, and Sharing the Limit. And he's on Martian Brew Saga, Siblings Bond, and Otherworld Warriors. Now his EZA is not a lot. If you compare his EZA to his original passive, it's very minimal changes. A lot of it being utility based. Personally speaking, I think, for me, overall they could have done a bit more with him. I understand that, there is the concept that he, could be very, very good in a situation where the opposition is in attack down or defense down. But for me, like, when I look at him, I think personally he doesn't do enough to warrant, the level of, like, mitigation that they provided to him. I think overall for me he could have been done a little bit better. I think it's nice that he has a pretty decent crit chance and some level of evasion just by being on a team with super units and Otherworld Warriors units, but I think overall they could have maybe done a tiny bit more. He does bring a lot of utility though. For example, if you just run him as a floater on a Otherworld Warriors team, he can hit, if they're in attack down, defense down, he can hit 4 million attack stats, 4.5 million attack stats. He will have around 300k defense afterwards. So he definitely has some avenues of growth and performance. It's just that he's a little bit inconsistent and he has like too many restrictive factors. I think the fact that you basically have to run them on one team, they all have to be superclass, and the opposition has to be an attack down, defense down, is rather limiting. With that being said, I do think he does at least have some pretty decent functionality on the ESBR, SBR side of things. He does bring some good utility there. He brings healing, he brings sealing, he brings attack lowering, he brings, evasion, he brings crit hit. So there is like at least a solid foundation that he brings to a team in terms of utility. But I do think there's maybe a little bit too much of a restriction on him. I think they could have limited the restrictions a little bit. They could have given him maybe a bit more juice in the tank, and then we would have seen maybe a little bit better a unit. There's nothing wrong with giving him a bit more evasion. There's nothing wrong with increasing his attack stats. He's got so many restrictions to make him work that I don't think it's unfair to consider doing more consistent kind of mechanisms for him. In terms of links, nothing too crazy. Main focal points will be Shattering the Limit, Otherworld Warriors. You've got Gentleman, which is fairly common with Paikuhan units. Solid Support is also okay. Master of Magic is more in the evil, extreme, Babdi, Dabura, Majin Buu type of thing. So you're not really going to be able to activate that too often. And More Than Meets the Eye is kind of there, but again, a little bit restrictive, especially considering, remember, he has to be, not has to, but he performs by far way better on a all super, all Otherworld Warriors lineup team. So some of these links, although, like the Innocence, etc., though they're pretty cool to get, they're actually relatively hard to get when you consider the Otherworld Warriors team that he's on. So yeah, it's definitely something to factor in. Doesn't mean that he's not usable, it just means that his link set's quite limited. And what I would say is, in terms of his kind of baseline, I would probably say that link leveling is not really necessary. You shouldn't really link level free-to-play units in general, but I think overall, especially not him. But yeah, I think that's basically going to be it for me. I don't think there's too much else really to say. He's a fun unit that could be useful for SBR and ESBR, but I think that's ultimately his only real avenue of utilization. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care and bye.